tayo pang panagutan. Diba? So, dapat maging tayo, kagaya tayo ni Saint Joseph, na we are always willing to take up responsibility. Okay? So, actually, siya rin yung patron saints of workers. Diba? Kaya sa ating lahat ng manggagawa, kailangan dadasal tayo sa kanya. Kasi, yan, patron saint of workers. Saint Joseph of Nazareth. Now, why am I sharing you all these saints? Bakit nag-share ako ng iba't ibang buhay sa inyo ng mga santo? Sabi natin kanina, saints and miracles go together. Pag sinabi mong santo, meron siyang kaakibat lagi ng miracles. But, what is it that is common to all the saints? Ano yung pinaka-common na meron sila? They are able to do the miracle of Kenosis. All these saints that have been recognized by the Catholic Church, all these saints that have been canonized, meron silang common denominator, and that is, they are able to empty themselves. Nagawa nilang i-give up lahat ng meron sila. Okay? And ano yung naging kapalit nun? God fill it up with something better. Pinuno ng pag-ibig yung kanilang puso. When they gave up their lives, nung binigay nila yung buhay nila in the service of others, nung binigay nila yung buhay nila for the Lord, God fill it up with something that is better. So, hindi man tayo ma-recognize ng Catholic Church as saints, but we are also saints because we are always giving ourselves for others. And I hope and I pray na hindi tayo magsawa na maibigay kung ano yung meron natin para sa iba, especially those who are in need. Because when you empty yourselves, God will fill you with better things. Amen? Amen. Amen. Sabihin mo sa katabi mo, God will fill you with better things. God will fill you with better things. And because God will fill us with better things, so someone better will be speaking in front on how you can empty yourself. Okay? So I invited someone who is better than me. I invited a very, very special brother. Can you all welcome Brother Nabe? Nahihiya siya. Bigyan natin ng malakas ng palakpak. Kakanta ka pala. Kakanta siya. Ay, broso.
Okay. Okay. So for some of you who do not know, actually, I grew up in a province where we love country music. So yung cowboy boots, yung dusty looks, yung maong jacket, maong jeans, tapos yung cowboy hats, yung mga ganyan. So, dun sa province namin kasi gusto yun. Tapos may links na sa Levi's. Now, there is this song that I want to share with you. Actually, sabi ni Jade, kantahin ko daw.
Yeah!
Sabi ko, no.
Kenosis.
Kaya ikukwento ko na lang. Okay? So, once there was this preacher. Tapos, the preacher was holding a Bible that was stained with blood. And then, tumayo siya sa harap. Then he started telling a story. So yung story ko, nag-tell din siya ng story. And then, sabi niya, there was bus that was heading for Mexico, and it was midnight. And there were 4 passengers. How many?
4.
4. So there was a teacher, there was a farmer, a hooker, and a preacher. The one preacher in the story. The farmer was heading for a vacation, and the teacher was heading for a higher education. 2, they were actually searching for lost souls. So the other one was searching for her soul, soul searching. That's Lisa, who was searching for lost souls. And then along the way, an 18-wheeler truck hit the bus. So they got into an accident. Tapos, the chorus goes like this. Sabi na, there are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. While there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. So the farmer actually, he left a 8-acre farm and a harvest. He left his farm, his family, and the son. But not only that, he left the faith and growing things to his young son. The teacher, he left his wisdom to lots of children. So he gave them a better, to have them a better start. And then, while the preacher was dying, he gave the Bible to the hooker, and then asked her, can you see the promised land? And then the preacher that was telling the story, he stood up, raised the Bible, and said, bless the farmer, bless the teacher, and the preacher, who gave this Bible to my mama, who read it to me. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. While there's not 4 of them, now I guess we know. I guess it's not what you think when you leave this world behind you. Friends, it's what you leave behind you when you're gone. So now, how about you? Is anybody going to heaven because of you? Or is anybody going to live the life or the Jesus way of life because of you? Which brings us to our next thing. So anybody familiar with this place? Ako din actually. It's Auschwitz. And it's in Poland. Let me give you a little background. Auschwitz was once a concentration camp during the Hitler regime, and it was operation from 1940 to 1945. Noong time na yun, around 1.3 million people or prisoners were sent there. 1.1 were put to death. 90% being Jews. During those times, sa sobrang dami ng kailangan nilang patay, actually, yung firing squad, ini-scrap nila. Kasi aksaya daw sa bala. Imagine 1.1 billion yung pinanay nila in the span of 5 years. 4 years. So they developed a poison gas And let me give you a scenario on how they used it. Sabihin nila, okay, pero kailangan nyo ilipat sa isang facility. But you have to go under cleansing. So, lalagay sila sa isang room, pag-ubarin. And then, you can just imagine, di ba? You're sitting there or standing there waiting for the pipes for water to come out. And then next thing you know, everyone is screaming or everyone is choking. Yeah. Some actually were also starved to death. And during that time, there was an incident in Kenosis at cell block number 14 during the 31st of July, 1941. There was a prisoner that escaped, so the sirens went on. And yung rule kasi noon is that if a prisoner escapes, 10 will be put to death in his or in her place. So since may isang nakatakas, so pili sila 10. Random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sabi mo first. 10. And while they were choosing the 10, a prisoner with the name of Francis Gajoniche, sabi niya, sumigaw siya. Sabi niya, my son, my children, my family, and my wife, I won't see them again. And then out of nowhere, parang a person came up and said, I will take his place. So, hindi na sila. Sabi niya, I will take his place. And so sabi ng mga guards, okay. So, si Francis, tinanggal siya. Then the 10 were put into the, kung saan sila yan, sa chamber, kung saan sila i-start to them. 2 weeks after, actually nung binabasa ko to, parang, ano yung Hunger Games? Diba? I volunteer as tribute. Okay, yun nangyari. Tapos, nung nilagay sila sa chamber, 2 weeks after, binuksan. May nanalo. Only one was alive. And that was Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Now we ask, how can saints do that? How, what is the logic behind kung bakit nila kaya gawin yung mga ganun? Siyempre, isipin mo, by the way, yung binulungan niya, nabuhay. He went back to find out that his children died in the war, but he got to be reunited with his wife. And namatay lang siya recent, 1995. So he lived 40 plus years. Yan ang isip. You see, for Father Kolbe or Saint Kolbe to be able to do that, kasi he had a relationship with Jesus, and he trusted the teachings of Jesus. That's why he was able to do what Jesus had told us. And ano ba yung ginano ni Jesus? Sabi ka ni si John, or non-belief. We love because He first loved us. So si Father Colbe, since he knows how to love like Jesus, he was really able to love a total eclipse of a total stranger. Seryoso. Just like Jesus did, di ba? He loved a lot of strangers, just like Jesus did. Kaya sabi niya, I will take His place. Sipin niyo, wala na silima, wala na yung bisbibata, wala na yung 4, 5, 6 meals a day pag nakanaya na sila. Wala naman. But because He knows how to love Himself, He was able to love a total stranger. So, how about us then? Need din ba natin na maghanap ng pagbibilang mo dyan? Sabihin natin, I will take His place. Wala. So how can we empty ourselves? You know, actually, Jesus already did it. So sabi sa Philippians 2 verse 7, Jesus emptied Himself by taking the form of a servant. So sabi nga ni si Seki, so hinubad niya yung kanyang pagka-Diyos. Bumaba siya para maging servant, para turuan tayo kung paano mabuhay. So ayun, servant naman pala. So lahat naman tayo pwedeng maging servant, di ba? And as servants, how should we do this? So let me share to you what the Apostle Paul said, written in the book of Philippians. For me, I believe that this should be what we are doing as well in our Christian life. Kasi sabi ni Apostle Paul, for me to live is Christ. So he was actually saying that I am living a life where God is being magnified. So friends, God cannot be magnified through us. He cannot fill us up if we are already full on our own. Question. If you are to summarize your life right now, yung parang sinabing simple. For me to live is blank. Money. Pagkatrabaho ko, and then later on, I'll retire. Diba? Or power and fame. Ganun ba? Diba after having this or having tried all of this, there's this question inside of us saying, there's got to be a lot more than this. There's got to be something more than this. There has to be something more than this. And friends, tama friend. You are made to know God. You are made for His purpose. And you are made to share the love of God to others. And those are others, diba? Since we are all followers naman, and we are all servants of Jesus Christ, let me tell you about the Eucharist. Go back naman yung Eucharist. Well, because in our Christian faith, the Mass is the heart. And just like the heart of a human being that pumps blood para mabuhay tayo, we actually get nourishment at the Mass. And the Last Supper was actually so important that it was written in all 4 Gospels. Alam niyo ba? So, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Galing. So in the first three, Matthew, Mark, Luke, they wrote about the breaking of the bread. When they had the last supper, when they were eating. On the fourth gospel, John wrote about what Jesus did after. Naalala niyo po ba kung ano yung ginawa ni Jesus after nila kumain? So, kumuha siya ng towel.
Nagugas siya ng paa.
Yun. So, he washed the feet of the apostles. And, sabi niya, nung after niya winash yung feet ng kanyang disciples, sabi niya, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you may now relax. Sabi niya. Ano ba? Sabi niya, in episode 3, 3, 2, 1.
Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you.
So, kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, si Jesus is already giving us something to do. At nagbigay pa siya ng example. Easy na lang. So, kumbaga susundan na lang natin. Just like in the Mass, do you notice that what does the priest say after the Mass? Diba, sinasabi ng priest after the Mass. The Mass has ended, sit down and wait for aftercare. Sabi niya, the Mass is ended, go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Or sometimes, sabi nila, go in peace, glorifying the Lord by your life. So you are given something to do. You're given a mission after. Hindi manood ng after getting. Because the Mass in Latin actually means mission. Wala namang pinanganak na walang purpose sa mundo, di ba? We were not born to just take up space, die, and move on. Gaya ng sabi kanina, we were made to share the love of God. Also, brothers and sisters, as followers of Christ, we must know that the Mass is both a dining table and an altar. Ano ba ginagawa natin sa dining table? Ready na ba yun? So, kumakain, di ba? We get nourishment sa dining table. And at the same time, it's also an altar table. Anong ginagawa natin sa altar?
Kumakain.
Kumakain pa din. Sa altar, we give offerings. We offer and we empty ourselves to the Lord. Kaya sa altar, being the Mass as an altar, you should surrender everything to God. Surrender your sins, your pains, your problems, your pride. Empty yourself so God can fill you up. Empty hindi sinabing mag-iwan ng isang sin. So you should empty. So empty din your pocket. Empty nga, di ba? Empty. Kasi minsan you go to Mass, but then sinurrender mo lahat ng problems mo, pero hindi naman lahat binigay mo sa Kanya. Pag sinabing empty, i-empty mo na lahat, bigay mo lahat sa Kanya para mapalit ka Kanya. Friend, if you attend the Mass and you're still so full of yourself, you're missing the point. Because the Mass is the training camp for food washers. So empty yourself, surrender, and then serve. Serve your spouse, serve your family, your friends, serve your boss or at work, serve all or the people that God will send your way. Kahit ano pa man lahi niya. Kahit ano pa man yung amoy niya. Kahit ano pa man yung position niya. God has sent them into your way. Sabi nga natin, diba? Sabi nga ni Jackie, di ba? It was all planned. We are not just here by merely coincidence. So God has planned it all. Tama? Amen. So, actually, I'm going to end with a video now. And friends, let me tell you that it's really simple. Yeah? Just empty ourselves and remember the most important thing. What is the most important thing ba? Alam niyo ba? Yung sa series natin, alam niyo ba kung ano yung most important thing? The most important thing is to trust God. Trust God, and God will fill you up with better things. Let us not, pilit kung ano yung ways natin. We need to trust God. And sinabi niya, empty yourself. Jesus emptied himself to be a servant. Sige bro, pag may nakikita ko, pag wala na akong mga problema bro, sige, I will empty myself to the Lord. Friend, I believe you're still missing out. I don't know for you, but for me, I will do what I can with what I have for the Lord. Hindi bro, kasi hindi, pagod ngayon bro, pagod ngayon. Alam niyo ba si Jesus, when he was carrying the cross to Calvary, he was so tired. He was in so much pain. He was actually so thirsty. Yet he did not stop. That was all for you. Sure, it's not going to be easy, though. But do it just like Jesus did, and you will see that life will also be beautiful. So empty ourselves, keep on serving, and God will fill you with better things.
Amen.
Better things, sometimes something better than earthly treasures. So, I guess let's watch the video.
ไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
Kanina kasunod sa video, what is it that you desire? What is it that you desire? As we prepare for the ministry, can I invite you to stand up? What is it that you desire? My dear brothers and sisters, sabi nga nila, di ba, you're not here just to take up space. You're here because of a purpose. And God has a mission for each and every one of us. And I hope and I pray na as you go through life and as you journey in this world, that you're able to find that purpose. And siguro, huwag natin kalilimutan that there is something that you can do. Meron at meron kang magagawa. You know, in one of the stories that I've read, it's the story of a beggar. It's a kid, a 10-year-old kid who is asking for money for him to be able to live. And one day, a king saw him. Nakita siya ng hari na namamalimos, and the king took pity on the kid. Now, this king was disguised as a commoner. And nilapitan niya yung bata at sinabi niya na what are you doing? And then the king said that he's begging, and the king notices na medyo puno na yung tin can. So the king said, do you have other containers? And the boy said, I only have this small tin can that I use so that I can put the money inside. And so the king said, if you want, you can give me your money or the coins that you have received in your tin can, and I will replace it with something better. And the boy was so amused, and a part of him was excited. Excited siya kung ano yung matatanggap niya in return. But on the other hand, he is also torn. Kasi maghapon niyang pinag-ipunan yung laman ng tin can niya. And alam natin na hindi madali ang mamalimos sa kalsada. And for you to be able to fill up the tin can is not so easy. So medyo nag-struggle siya na ibigay yung laman ng tin can niya. So ang sabi niya, dun sa lalaki or dun sa king, sabi niya, sir, can I just give half? Kasi matagal kong inipon yung laman nito, maghapon ako ng mga balimos. So can I just give half to you? So the king said, okay, if that's what you want, it's up to you. You decide your own fate anyway. And so this boy gave half of the coins to the king, and in return, this king opened up his bag and pinalitan niya yung mga coins with gold coins. And when the boy saw it, he was so shocked. Hindi siya makapaniwala na ibibigay sa kanya are gold coins. But it was too late for him to change his decision. And so, he was only able to get half filled of gold coins. My dear brothers and sisters, most of us, we are like that boy. I mean, personally, I can tell you that there are times that I am like that boy. That there are times that I cannot really empty everything. And I only give half of what I have. And there are moments na kapag sobrang na-overwhelm, kapag sobrang maraming pinagdadaanan, kapag sobrang marami na yung mga frustrations, kapag sobrang marami na yung pain, yung anger, pag na-overwhelm ka na sa mga stress ng buhay, minsan ang tendency is to say that, "Hindi, kaya ko to." Minsan the tendency is to keep on smiling and to keep on pretending that I can do this and that I don't need you. But God is telling us that no, you have to empty up everything so that I can fill it with something better. Because sometimes it is just your pride talking. It is just your insecurities talking. So my dear brothers and sisters, this afternoon, when God asks you to empty yourself, the first thing that we need to do is to humble ourselves before God. Because only when you humble yourself before Him, that's the only time that you will say, "Lord, I surrender everything to you. Lord, I trust you. That when I give everything to you, I know and I believe and I claim and I declare that you will fill it up with something better." So let God speak to you today. Let God speak to you today that you will have the courage and the strength to empty yourself so that God will fill you up. This afternoon, empty your coins so that God can fill you up with the gold coins that He is storing for you. And as we sing this song, don't just sing this song, but let this song be your prayer. Let this song be your prayer. Not just today, but make this song your prayer every day. Let this song be your prayer and tell to the Lord, if more of you means less of me, O Lord, then take everything. If more of you, Lord, means less of me, then take everything, O Lord. Take everything, O Lord, that I have. Because I know that when you take everything, when I give you everything, you will give back something better in return. And so this afternoon, as we sing this song, let this be our prayer for God to take everything so that we can be more like Him, so that we can be more like